Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
It is Friday, February 13th, 2026. And looking at the calendar, that date feels incredibly appropriate.
It really does.
If you're a rugby fan from any country that isn't South Africa, the story we have today is basically a horror movie script.
It is, yeah. It's a Friday the 13th scenario for the rest of the world. We're sitting here a little over a year from the 2027 World Cup, and the monster in the closet is not going away.
If anything, it's getting bigger. We all know the context.
Yeah.
The Springboks have the last two World Cups locked down. Rassie Erasmus has them at the top of the world rugby rankings.
Yeah.
And the big question, the conversation everywhere, is about the three-peat.
Can they do it 3 in a row?
Which has never been done.
No.
Yeah.
And usually history would say no. You look at the cycles of sport and, well, heavy is the crown, right?
Right.
Motivation can dip, your key guys age out, tactics get figured out. The chasing pack always catches up.
But the dossier we have today suggests South Africa might have, figured out how to defy gravity. We're looking at a new report, and it has this pretty stark warning from former Springboks center Robbie Fleck.
And he isn't talking about the current world champions. That's the key part. He's talking about what's coming next.
That's the scary part, isn't it?
It is. He's seeing a fundamental shift in their talent pipeline. It's not just a next generation. It feels like a new type of player that this system is just churning out.
So our mission today is to unpack that warning. We're going to look at why a simple practice match between a university team and a bunch of teenagers has sent shockwaves through the coaching world.
And we'll break down exactly who these mutant players are.
Yes, exactly. But before we get into the locks we haven't seen before, which is a terrifying phrase we will get to, I have a job for you. If you want to stay ahead of these global rugby shifts, you need to subscribe to Rugby Obsession right now.
Just hit the button.
It's that easy. We're tracking the road to 2027 closer than anyone, and you do not want to be the last one to find out about the next superstar.
So let's set the stage here. It's early 2026. Rassie Erasmus is doing this balancing act.
The kind that usually gets coaches fired?
Totally. He has to keep winning, maintain that #1 spot, but he also has to start easing out the veterans from 2019 and 2023.
It's that classic rebuilding while flying the plane scenario.
And if you look back at 2025, the engine didn't stall at all. It actually revved up. The South African U20 team, the Junior Springboks, they won the world championship.
And on the surface, okay, that's just a trophy.
Yeah.
But the context is huge here.
It really is. It was their first title since 2012.
A 13-year drought. I mean, for a powerhouse like South Africa, that is a long time to go without that junior silverware.
It is, but what we're looking at here suggests that the drought breaking wasn't just a fluke. It wasn't just a lucky crop of players. It seems to signal that the whole production line has been, fixed and upgraded. Usually when a team wins the U20s, you think, okay, maybe 2 or 3 of those guys will become test players in a few years.
Yeah, the attrition rate is normally massive.
But the analysis here is completely different. It suggests South Africa isn't rebuilding, they're reloading. And the ammunition seems to be a higher caliber than anything we've seen before.
Which brings us to the core of this. Robbie Fleck. Now, Fleck is a 31-cap Springbok. He's coached the Stormers. He knows what elite rugby looks like.
Oh, he's seen it all. And right now, he's with the University of Cape Town, the Ike Tigers. Now, Varsity Cup in South Africa, that is serious rugby.
We're talking grown men, 21, 22, 23 years old, properly conditioned.
Exactly. So Fleck sets up a practice match, his university team against the current Junior Springboks. On paper, this should be a physical mismatch.
You'd think so. Men against boys?
Physics dictates the university side should just bully them, right? The 22-year-old prop should fold a 19-year-old one. But Fleck's reaction after this match was just, it was disbelief.
He went on a podcast, Bokke Unpacked, and didn't just praise them. He sounded rattled.
He did. He said, and I'm quoting, "That's probably one of the most talented sides I've seen in a long time.
A long time.
And he backed it up. He said he would put his house on it, that this group will go back-to-back and win the U20 title again this year.
Betting your house. That is not a phrase you just throw around.
No, it is a huge statement. But here's the detail in the report that really stops you. The team that his university side played against.
Yeah.
It wasn't even their full-strength team.
Okay, now that's the part that just doesn't compute.
It's wild. Fleck pointed out that the superstars of that age group, guys like Cheswell Juiced, weren't even on the field.
Why not?
Because Juiced is already playing senior pro rugby for the Bulls. The first choice fly half wasn't there. The fullback wasn't there.
So hold on. You have a B team of teenagers, a lot of them just out of school, stepping onto a field against a top university men's team.
And dominating. Fleck's words were his side. Couldn't even hold them.
Couldn't hold them.
In rugby terms, that means when the kids ran, they broke tackles. When the men ran at the kids, they got smashed backwards.
It defies the logic of physical development.
It does. And that's why Fleck's warning feels so urgent. He's basically telling the world, you think you know what's coming, but you have no idea.
Okay, let's get technical. Because talent can be a vague word. We hear it all the time. But Fleck, he broke down specific attributes. And it sounds like he's describing a different species of player.
He is. He started with the outside backs. Now look, South Africa produces fast wingers. That's standard.
Of course.
But he wasn't talking about speed. He was talking about their communication.
He said their skills were on another level.
And just think about what that means. When you're the rookie, the youngest person on the field, what do?
You shut up. You try not to screw up.
Exactly. You are definitely not telling the seniors where to go. But Fleck watched 18-year-old boys organizing the entire defensive line, calling out shapes, spotting overlaps, communicating with the authority of a 10-year veteran.
That's not physical talent. That's rugby IQ.
It's cerebral. It means they've bypassed the learning curve. And then we get to the pack. And this is where the nightmare fuel really kicks in.
Okay.
Fleck said this pack can completely dominate on the international scene. But he singled out the locks. He said, and I quote, "A set of locks you have not seen before."
Locks you have not seen before. What does that even mean? We've seen big locks. We've seen tall locks. What makes these guys unseen?
It's the hybridization of them. Historically, you have a trade-off in the second row, right? You've got your line-out jumper who might be a bit lanky, or you've got your enforcer who just hits rucks.
The classic Bakkies Botha and Victor Matfield combo. Yeah. One hammer, one scalpel.
Perfect analogy. But Fleck is suggesting that trade-off is gone. These young locks were dominating the line-out, which is technical, but they were also winning every single collision and moving around the park like loose forwards.
So you've got a 2-meter-tall athlete who hits like a flanker, but jumps like a basketball player.
That's the prototype. And if you have locks who don't have a weakness, you change the entire geometry of the game.
It sounds unfair. Like they're cheating the character creation screen in a video game.
And he named names. We should remember these. We already mentioned Ches Juice, but he highlighted the senders. Ethan Adams and Marcus Muller.
He called them incredible.
And again, it wasn't just about speed, it was about the breakdown. Fleck said his university men could not compete with these schoolboys at the breakdown.
The breakdown is a dark art. That's where experience should win every time.
100%. For schoolboys to dominate that area suggests they're getting elite professional coaching while they are still in, math class.
And he said their set-piece plays were very smart.
Incredibly smart. And remember, he said this team had only been together for,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. To execute complex patterns after 14 days means the entire system is teaching from the same textbook.
Okay, before we dig into why this is all happening, I just want to take a quick beat. If you're enjoying this look into the future of rugby, please make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession. We do this for every major development, and we'd love for you to join us.
So let's get to the why. We have the evidence, the unseen locks, the genius communication. Jean de Villiers, another Bokke legend, he weighed in on this.
He talked about the gap, or I guess the lack of one.
Exactly. Historically, there's this huge chasm between schoolboy rugby and professional rugby.
Of course.
You leave school, you go to an academy, you spend a few years getting battered, and then maybe you're ready.
But de Villiers is saying that in South Africa, that gap it's just closed.
It's evaporated. The professionalism in their school system, we're talking televised games, pro coaches, video analysis, it's so high that it's creating pro-level players at 17.
De Villiers said they talk about the game, they understand the game, they can read the game, and they can communicate it.
And that's the key. They aren't just physically ready, they are intellectually ready. So when they show up at a pro team, the coaches don't have to teach them the basics. That software is already installed.
So the formula he lays out is, you take that raw talent, which South Africa's always had.
In abundance, yeah.
And you add this layer of elite professional coaching at the school level.
Talent plus professionalism at school equals pretty unstoppable. That's his conclusion. And it just blows up the whole narrative of a rebuilding phase for the Springboks.
This is what it all comes back to for 2027, isn't it? We keep asking if Rassie can manage the transition. But if the 18-year-olds are already operating at a pro level,
The transition becomes seamless. You're not replacing a Ferrari part with a spare tire. You're replacing it with a newer, faster part that fits perfectly. Fleck even said of this U20 group, "I certainly believe that they're better than last year's outfit."
and last year's outfit won the World Cup.
That's the trajectory. It's terrifying. If the pipeline is actually accelerating year on year, this isn't a golden generation. A golden generation is a fluke. This is a system. It's a factory.
It does feel a bit like the All Blacks in the 2010s. Just that conveyor belt of excellence.
But potentially even more dominant because of the physical profile. The All Blacks killed you with skill and speed. If this generation can do that and have this unseen level of physical dominance, that's a monopoly on the sport.
So let's just recap the intelligence here. The rest of the world has officially been warned. The 2025 U20 win was not a blip.
No, it was a signal.
According to Robbie Fleck, we're looking at a pipeline producing players who are tactically mature before they can even legally buy a beer.
And experts like Villiers are saying the developmental gap is gone, the Springboks are getting players ready-made.
It is a sobering thought. But we want to turn this over to you, the listener. We've laid out the evidence. Robbie Fleck has bet his house on it. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'd love to hear some counter-arguments. Is there a danger in hyping teenagers this early? Or do you think nations like France or Ireland have an answer to this?
We really want your thoughts and opinions. Drop a comment, send us a message. Is this the secret weapon for 2027, or are we getting carried away?
And I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If South Africa is producing players who are this complete, this early, are we looking at a decade of dominance? Is the Webb Ellis Cup about to take up permanent residence in Johannesburg?
That is the question that should be keeping every other coach in the world awake at night. We'll be tracking Ethan Atches, Marcus Muller, and this entire group very, very closely.
Absolutely. The road to the World Cup is paved with these kids.
If you want to walk that road with us, make sure you subscribe to Rugby Obsession. We've got more deep dives coming your way.
It's going to be a fascinating year.
It certainly is. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.